Okie dokie. Thanks. I'm Vince. This is Listings to Leads. April and your team, thanks for joining me. And Butch, thanks for inviting everybody. So you may not have heard about us. We've been around for about 12 years. We focus on real estate marketing, and we have really strong connections with social media. You'll see all this in a minute. And probably I think we're one of the top companies for straight up lead generation. One thing I want to make sure is that you become part of this mastermind group. This is a group on Facebook. It's for our clients only, and you can't find it if you're not in it. Now, Butch is in it, and Butch should be able to find this little blue button that says invite, and invite one of you, and then the rest of you can invite the other ones, and then we'll approve it all. But I am going to show you that there's a magnifying glass in here, and I want to show you just some sort of recent things that are going on. On the buyer side, hey, what? That's fine. Go. Excuse me. What have I done? On the buyer side, we have Facebook ads that you can do either automatically. You can set it and forget it in our system, or you can click one button and you'll run an ad that generates leads with phone numbers. This lady here, Heidi, was running ads in December, and she got 447 leads in the first 22 days of December, 447 leads with phone numbers and emails. So she's pretty psyched. I will tell you, we actually just analyzed the last $500,000 spent by our clients. We analyzed it in December, and we found that the average buyer cost lead is about $1.56. Okay. In December, you know, realtors take a nap and they wait until spring. So the lead gen cost is dropping for her. I wouldn't tell you like 8-cent leads are the norm. But we've got clients generating hundreds of leads every month from Facebook, and they're pretty psyched because they're coming with name, email, and phone number. On the opposite side of our system is ways of getting listings. And this guy, Butch and I were talking about it before you got here, and Butch, I guess you gave a presentation on this. This guy here moved into San Antonio, Texas a couple summers ago, and took this one tool that we create, a letter, and he got a list from a company called Remine, and he basically had a list of people with equity, right? People that own their homes for 5 years or more. He would send out a letter every 2 weeks to people that own their homes for 5 years or more. Now I'm going to show you this letter in just a moment. We call it the nearby homeowner letter. You can generate this letter automatically if you have your own listings. You can also generate it automatically if you borrow a listing. But it's the #1 way of getting listing leads that turn into listing contracts. And when I showed you the ad about Facebook and Facebook leads, you know, Facebook leads are cool, but they don't convert the fastest. And they convert at like 1, 2, 3%, right? But this kind of tool here that we're talking about, it has nothing really to do. He does do this video and he puts it on Facebook, but it's that he sends out this letter every 2 weeks, and people will fill it out. They'll open up the mail that he drops off, and then every week he hits them up. As soon as he gets them as a lead, every week he hits them up. This is in the mastermind group. And this guy moved into San Antonio, Texas with no name recognition, just a license, and gets 5 listings in 3 months. So this tool keeps working and working all over the country, but those are kind of 2 of the highlights. Back to listings to leads. We can help you get buyer leads, and we can help you get seller leads, whether you have listings or whether you don't. Now, when you log in, there is a lot to it. And typically it can be overwhelming for most realtors. I know Butch he's been working with us for a while, so you're really starting to get the hang of what's going on. And of course, you'll still have questions. But I want to kind of show you what you need to do when you get in the first time. There's a page here that says get started on the top. And, you know, there's some basic things, profile and stuff like that. But I definitely want to make sure that you connect this button. It says connect to social media. When you click it, it's going to allow you to connect to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And I recommend that even if you don't use these platforms, that you go dust off your password and you connect to this thing, because we're going to auto post your listings at every status. It's going to look good. It's going to have emojis and hashtags, but it's going to have landing pages behind it, behind every post. So when people click on these things, there's a tool, I'll show you what a landing page looks like in a minute, that will capture their leads, their contact information, and give it to you. So these are free advertising tools, but you do have to connect it right here, okay? Then there's another button that says connect to your ad account. And so you got to connect to Facebook, and that connects to Facebook and Instagram. And I recommend that you do both, because Facebook ads are awesome for branding. They're awesome for capturing leads, both buyer leads and seller leads. Okay. So that's kind of like number one. These 1 and 2, you got to do that. And also connect your CRM. So April, does everybody here use the same CRM and are they all on your team, or are these different folks? You're muted. There you go.
No, these guys are all, let's see, 2 of them are on a team, and then another one's with a bigger brokerage, and then one's a lender. So no, they all have different, their own.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they all have their own CRMs.
Yeah. So there's a section where you can connect. We've got APIs for a number of CRMs, but then some CRMs we don't. You can just get the email forwarding, the unique email for you, and drop it here. So every time we capture a lead, we're going to pop it in there. We're going to drop it in your CRM. You can turn on, you do have text IVR automatically. And what that means is you're getting unique codes, and we even give you a place where you can print up sign writers. But when we're doing our auto posting and when we're doing our ads for you automatically, we're including the text automated code. This is important because a lot of people are going to see your posts on their phone on social media. And with text, they can just text right out of there, right? So that's kind of part of the setup, right? Over here on the left in the navigation bar, there's really 2 sections that I want you to be really familiar with. Ads, which is here. I'll click on it here. Is it going slowly? The ad section and the listing section. Okay, now your listings should flow in automatically. If there's a lender on here, we can talk about this after, because you don't really have listings, but you can create an account and you can pull listings in. But this is what the listing section looks like. Okay, and your listing should flow in automatically when you set up a profile, and like kind of let our support team, and they'll let them know, and they'll go look to see if they have listings and connect them. But every one of these, you'll notice one thing, that there are different statuses: active, sold, under contract. The early stages, like just listed, coming soon, open house, are the home is designed to capture buyer leads. When a home is under contract or sold or pending, the call to actions are to get listing leads. So I really recommend that what I'm about to show you, that you do like 2 or 3 times, when it's just listed, when it's open house, and when it's sold. Same property, but you market it when it's open house, just listed, and sold. Now I'm going to click on market listing here, and when you click on it, you see all these things in the middle column that we do, right? And they're great. We create virtual tours, single property websites, listing flyers. You can blog. You got Craigslist. You got QR codes. But right here, the first thing it drops you on is a Facebook ad. Okay. So to create a Facebook ad, all you need to do is click this button here that says create ad. Now, if you've ever created an ad on Facebook, you might know that there are 3 pages and probably like 20 different things you need to click on Facebook to have an effective ad that doesn't get blocked. In this, you choose your property and you click one button, because we can tell what you're clicking, what you're trying to do. And we click all the buttons in the background because we actually have Facebook software embedded in this page. So for you to run an ad in real estate, you want to do it on this ads page. It's not going to be sponsored by Listings to Leads like it is here for me. It's sponsored by your business page, and it's charging your credit card on your Facebook account. Okay, so you'll need your credit card in that account. But now every time that you run an ad, you'll see that we put a budget here when it's for buyer leads for $35. It runs for a week. When it's for sellers, we put it for $50 and it runs for a week. Just so you know, I mentioned earlier that we analyzed leads. I think buyer leads were $1.54, and I think seller leads were like $6.50 on average across the United States. That's for the last $500,000 that our clients have spent all over the country. So in Manhattan, seller leads are really expensive, right? Out there deep in Wyoming, they're probably less expensive than Manhattan. It's just weird with competition and the way that Facebook prices. It's not the same all over the country. So you'll have to see what your buyer leads cost on your side. But it's very easy just to create an ad right here. Okay. The other thing that I want you to remember is this. These are the tools that I absolutely want you to use. Facebook ads, and they're all at the top. Social media post, seller social media post, the e-flyer for social media, I don't really care as much because the social media one for the seller is really awesome. The nearby homeowner letter and the e-flyer for your database. So the Facebook ads, I'm going to show you where you can set it up automatically, but if you don't want to do it automatically and you just want to click this button, you just click that button and that runs an ad. Social media post, I showed you where you connect your social media and I said, we're going to do this auto posting for you. So this property is already auto posted. So while it needs to get done, you actually don't need to do anything. So when I click on LinkedIn there, it takes us to LinkedIn and it shows us what this ad looks like, okay, or what this post looks like. So this is automatically done by Listings to Leads. In this case, it's going to your LinkedIn page. And it's got hashtags and emojis, it's got a nice picture. If you click on this post, it drives people to a listing landing page. And this is an open house, so there's kind of time sensitive. So there's a ticking clock there. Now, there's not a lot of info here, and it says if you want information, you got to click this blue button. And people click that blue button all day long. And when they do, we get their name and email and we deliver it to you via email. Okay. So that automated post that you can have going to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram has landing pages behind it, which will capture leads and it will deliver them to you. This happens automatically. So number one takes one click, or you can do that automatically. And number two happens automatically. The third one I want you to use is for your seller social media. And so some of you are really strong with social media and others of you don't even like to use social media. So you don't really do a whole lot. This tool is not for your social media. It's for your homeowner. And it says here, and this is all pre-written, and we email it to you. We email it to you and we tell you to send it to your client. So it's going to be on their page, right? It's not even going to be on your page. It's going to be on their page. And it says, we're having an open house and you at your office is doing an excellent job, right? And then you can click on this picture here, or you can click on that link and become a lead over there. So yes, it does capture leads, but more importantly, it's telling the friends and family and colleagues of your clients that you are their realtor, okay? So it doesn't disappear like an ad. It actually sits there until the person deletes it. And most people just never go back and delete anything. So this can be really effective when you're on the same, let's say you're on the same home and now it's sold. Let's see what it says here. Let's look at the same tool, but now that a property is sold, and it says share on seller social media, it says, we just sold our home. I don't know why it says we bought a new home. If you're thinking of buying or selling, we recommend you. You did an excellent job. Here's your phone number and email in front of all my friends and family on Facebook to see, until the end of time. So we email that to you automatically. Just forward it, call your client for 5 seconds and use that. The nearby homeowner letter is the #1 tool. So when I was showing you in the mastermind group, this guy, Chris, saying I use a letter and I mail it every 2 weeks. It's this letter. And when he was doing this, he had just moved to San Antonio, Texas. So he's borrowing listings taking this letter and mailing it out every 2 weeks to people who own their homes for 5 years or more. Now, Butch knows his story, so he can tell you what it's about. But it says, we're selling a home in your area. That's going to affect your home value. And people take this physical piece of paper in their own home, go to their own computer and find out what their home is worth, and they give you their contact information in that. So this is very different from a Facebook ad, because a Facebook ad can generate hundreds of leads in like days, in a week. This letter generates 5, maybe 10 leads. But Facebook leads, it's a big funnel to get a few deals. This is a really small funnel, but you get deals out of these, right? So when people are, we've got a lot of people in our mastermind group saying, every time we mail this, we get a listing, right? And so they're only mailing like 100 or 200 of these, and they're getting a handful of leads, but they're actually getting one listing out of it. And some people get multiple listings out of it. The e-flyer for your database is what I recommend if you have a large database. If you have a CRM of hundreds or thousands of people, this looks a lot like the print flyer. It's just an electronic format. And there's, in this case, I've got multiple hooks in here. All the pictures, all the links are links to landing pages to capture their contact information. Now you see down here on the left, we have single property websites, virtual tours, postcards, and door hangers. You can use all these things, but the things that I've shown you are the things that get the most results, okay? You wanna use those when a home is just listed. You wanna use those when a home is open house and when it's sold. And for that letter, which is very important for generating listings, a lot of our clients use it twice in each listing. I'm sorry, 2 times for each listing. Now, one thing you want to make sure that you're updating your statuses, because not all MLSs tell us when something is under contract or sold. But as soon as you do, we're going to auto post and do that. Up here in the listing section, it says settings. And right here, it says ads. And this is where you can turn on automated ads. I definitely recommend this if you've got like 4 or more listings, 4 or 5 or more listings in your account all the time, because you don't want to run all these ads all the time. Then you can say, look, I want a monthly budget of $400, and I always want you to run ads for me when I have just listed or open house and sold. And I don't want more than 3 ads running every week, right? You're all realtors. Honestly, you should all have a $400 a month budget on Facebook, just if you're in real estate, right? And you can do it right there automatically. But if you don't do it automatically, you can kind of, there are other ways to do it. So all that being said, that is the listings page. And there's also this grab active listing. So if you don't have your own listings, you can drop in a zip code and you can drop in a MLS ID and say, it's not my listing, and grab it. And all the tools I've shown you are automatically created. Okay, so you can borrow listings and do all the things I've shown you just now. There's also this tab over here called ads. And I mentioned earlier, you need to connect your ad account, but you can see I have ads here. When you come here, you won't have ads here because you'll have just connected the account, but you can see your cost per lead. You can see how many hundreds of people have seen your stuff and obviously how much you've spent. But I want to point out that you can run these 3 kinds of ads. A listing ad. So all your listings are here. And you can say, well, I want to run a property on a sold ad, and click create an ad. And when you do, all you need to do is click publish. Okay. And now when the property is sold, it's offering free home values. So if you want more listings, market your homes and they're sold on Facebook. Okay. So you can obviously run ads on homes for open house and just listed and coming soon. And it just choose the property, click publish. There's also this button over here that says create PDF report ads. So there are 25 PDF reports for sellers and 25 PDF reports for buyers. Your contact information is on every page of this. So if you want to see it, you can click this white button and look at it. But you can also just say, well, I just want to create an ad. And if I create an ad, now all you got to do is click the button of whatever PDF report you want to run and type in a town, right? And when you do that, now all you need to do is click publish. So when you're doing a PDF report, you got to type into town and you got to click publish. And that's, if it's for buyers, we're running it for 35 bucks. If it's for sellers, we're running it for 50 bucks. So when I talk to agents, any realtor, I tell them you should be running at least 2 ads every week. One on a listing, even if you borrow it, and one on a PDF guide, even if, well, they're already sitting there, right? So, 25 or 30 on one, 35 on the other, at least $50 a week for those ads. So you could do 25 and $25, but at least $50 a week. That's 4 weeks, that's 200 bucks a month. For that, your business page will be seen 15 to 20,000 times, right? So throughout the year, that's nearly 250,000 times for 200 bucks a month. You will generate 100 to 200 leads every month for that off of Facebook alone. So it's awesome for your branding. It's great for lead capture. And it's really easy. Right now, I've shown you that we can run ads for you automatically for listings. We're probably going to add the ability for us to run ads for you automatically for PDFs as well. And you'll be able to choose, I just want seller ads, or I just want buyer ads, or I want to mix them up. I want to go back and forth and do buyers and sellers. We're working on that now. That'll take us a little bit of time to figure that out. So the system does a whole lot more. There's all kinds of tools in there, but these things that I'm showing you will actually help you grow your business if you're using them consistently.
So Vincent, question.
Yeah.
Can I set this up to run one of these PDFs once a month and set it up and I don't have to touch it again?
No,
Not-
no,
No.
that's what I said. That's what we're working on, but that's not live yet. You can set it up to run your listing ads automatically, but not the PDF report ads.
And then go over retargeting.
Okay. Retargeting is part of Facebook, and it's been in Facebook for years. And I would say not even 1% of realtors know that it exists. But what it says is you can create a custom audience of maybe it's people you downloaded from your CRM. Maybe it's a list that you bought of leads from Zillow. Whoever, if you got a bunch of leads, you can upload them into Facebook and call them my leads, right? And give whatever title you want. And when you're running an ad, you can retarget them, right? So if you've got all your old leads and you want to make sure you're staying in front of them, doing it on Facebook is smart. When you turn on retargeting here, there's some buttons. If you see this green box, this green, there's a yellow one and it says turn on custom audiences. And then it says turn on retargeting. And when you do that, that tells us to create a custom audience in your personal Facebook account. And we're going to take all the leads that you capture and put them in that file. Okay, so you got a CRM, so you're going to drip on these people through your CRM. But with retargeting, you can say, well, I want to run an ad on anything, on a listing or on a PDF, and I'm going to just do the 12 mistakes to avoid. And type in my city, click retargeting, and now when I type in L2L, it's going to show me all my, it's going to target all my leads, right? And that's really what you want to do. You want to retarget, stay in front of the leads. In this case, it's all of my leads. But if you have your own custom audiences in your account in Facebook, which could be leads I've been collecting for 10 years, you can keep retargeting them there as well.
So a question, when, let's say you've got 3 or 4 different campaigns going.
Yeah.
And leads are coming in. When they come in, do you know what campaign they're coming from?
When leads come in from the tools, you mean?
Yeah, let's say I'm doing Facebook and I'm doing automated posting and I get leads from various sources.
Yeah.
When the lead comes in, does it designate this came from Facebook ad, whatever you call it? Okay.
Yeah. That you
No.
know. Now, we also know, no matter where you generated the lead, we also know that it's a buyer or seller lead. So when you're looking at this custom audience, if you type in L2L, we actually have an audience for just the buyers and just the sellers. And then we have one for buyers and sellers. I recommend that every time you run an ad, that you just use the buyers and sellers. You just keep staying in front of those leads every time you run an ad. Don't try to separate it like, oh, this is for sellers, so I'm just gonna, because you don't know, things have changed. Maybe they were a buyer last year, maybe they're divorced this year, and now they're a seller. You just don't know. Just stay in front of the people with your ads every time you run an ad. That's why retargeting is awesome. Anything else there, Butch?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. We have a great support team down here on the left. Butch will get you in the mastermind group, but if you have questions, just putting them right here, the entire support team watches this. We do live training twice a week. And in the mastermind group, you will see my recorded calls. I think I just did a live training yesterday. I can't remember what day it is, but if you just scroll through here, you'll see recorded webinars over and over. That's the calls that we're doing every week. We're adding new technology almost every week, and we will be for the beginning of this year, meaning the first half of this year. But a lot of our clients put their questions in here too, so you can learn what's going on. You can learn what's working. And this is like the get started call from yesterday. So yes, I did record some. So that's a great call that I always recommend if you're new to us and you want to get started. So that's in the mastermind group, and we shared that yesterday.
Can you go over briefly just an overview of what's coming down the pipe as far as like slide dial and all that?
Yeah, I didn't get into the whole, because there are more things. One thing that's live now, Butch, is social content. This is where we will auto post to your social media, kind of real estate related stuff. It's more akin to Keeping Current Matters, if you know that company. So it's putting content in your system on your social media platforms that you don't need to touch. So that just went live. Follow-ups. If you don't have a CRM, we have a follow-up system that's live. That has a drip campaign for buyers and for sellers, and that's where right now this is incorporating emails and incorporating our PDF reports. So this is part of the follow-up system. We're going to be adding text to this, video to this, similar to BombBomb, and we're also going to be adding voice messaging similar to Slide Dial. So this is going to be a very powerful way of converting leads. So if you've got a CRM and you feel like it's not getting my phone ringing, you might want to turn this on, this follow-up system. This is going to get more and more robust throughout 2022.
And that's automated. It goes out. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Correct? You do have to turn it on. You have to come to follow-ups and turn it on, and then make sure these green buttons are on, and then that's it. Now you could click on this link and drill down it and edit and touch everything. And there are people that like to do that, or we just pre-written, it's all written and it's ready to go. Just turn it on. I think that's it. Yeah.
So the only really cost to an agent is their Facebook marketing, correct?
Yeah.
A lot of this is automated and
Free.
part of the,
yeah. I talk about Facebook a lot. It is a place for getting a lot of leads. A lot of our clients also run ads on Google, but they have to do that manually. And of course, if you're going to run ads on Google, you're going to pay for your ads on Google, and you can run ads on Bing, which I think is owned by Microsoft, and even on Yahoo. So you can take our tools and run ads. It's just in Facebook, we've done it almost completely automated. And it's low cost and effective. We definitely recommend that. Anything else? Oh, one other thing that's coming, in case you're not aware, Butch, I did mention earlier on the listing side that there is a nearby homeowner letter, and that the nearby homeowner letter is the #1 tool for getting listings. Let's wait for that to pull up. I don't know why it's taking so long. Right now, you have to kind of go here and download it and then print it and then stuff in an envelope and mail it. We're working right now with a company called Express Copy. We're working on their API so that you'll be able to say, I want 200 of these, or 100, or I think even 50. And I want them to go to this zip code. And I want them to go to people that have owned their homes for 5 years or more. And I don't want to touch it. I just want to click buttons and make that happen and pay for it. So that's going to be happening, Butch, I think in Q1 of this year. I think we're almost about to launch that.
Will it, if I go to Remine and pull up the medium to high sales scores, and can I send that list to them and have them send?
That I don't know, but it seems that they have their own data set, right?
Okay.
So it seems that they have their own data set. I don't think it's Remine. I think it's another company that they're getting another similar kind of data set. But my guess is you probably could. Probably could.
Okay.
It may not be at the click of a button right here, because this is going to be super automatic so that you don't really have to think about it. Anything else?
Can
Well-
you talk about so I know we have at least one lender on here. So can you kind of give Patricia maybe the benefits for a lender on this?
There's a couple. I didn't get into it, but on lead links, if I'm assuming this lender is like a partner of all your agents or something like that, you'll notice that lead links have you create these at the agent level, and they're going to speak to your biggest farm markets, right? But you can also get something like, get pre-approved, and if that link is checked, like I have these ones checked in blue, these are going to be default links on all my virtual tours, e-flyers, and single property websites, and at the bottom of my landing pages. So it's really great for them, for lenders to, drive people to their online application. Lenders can also have their own account. Butch has a lender, or actually Butch has a title account, but there's also a lender account where lenders can bring agents underneath their lender umbrella. Sorry. And so lenders need to sort of understand what we have, what's available, and convey that to agents. But that sort of strikes up and the relationships between a lender and a realtor, is that you're basically providing really powerful technology, really automated social media integration, great way to get leads and great ways to get listings. So that's why lenders go and sign up on our website and have a package that's very similar to Butch's. That's why Butch can invite you and under his umbrella. And I think on the lender side, Butch, you don't have this, but just an FYI, when you're running ads, and there's this whole PDF section, lenders, we actually have, I think, like 20 PDF reports on various loan packages. They're fairly generic. You can upload your own if you want, but lenders have a few more tools that they can use to talk about loans. It's not showing here because I'm logged in as me, not like a lender. Anything else?
Can an agent send these PDF guides?
They can definitely download it right here, and they can run ads to it on the ads page. So if you download it, you can attach it and send it. Yeah. So on the PDF guide section here, you download it. On the ad section, you run ads so that people download the report when they respond to the ad.
Got you.
You guys have any questions?
I do not.
How do we, if we want to start using this or get a login, how do we get started?
I think Butch is going to manage that. Is that correct, Butch?
Yeah, April, just get I'll show you how to sign them up.
Okay.
To start, we need the, obviously, name, phone number, and email. And then
Okay.
my suggestion is, once you get them signed up, they can get with Vincent. He can go through and just make sure they're all connected to their social media.
Mhm.
And then rock and roll from there.
Okay.
And just as a reminder, when you go to the get started page, right when you log in, that's where you connect to your social media.
Okay. And that again will connect to all of them, correct? The
Yep.
ones they use.
There are 5 separate buttons. You do have to
Mhm.
connect to them each individually, but once you've done,
Okay.
we'll auto post to those
Okay. Cool.
and connect to your ad account. Yeah.
And then Vincent, if they get signed up and they get things moving and they have questions about what to do, if they want to do a certain ad or whatever, do they go to support or do they go to you?
They go to support. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. If you're trying to run an ad and you have a question about this page, support's the fastest way to get an answer there.
Okay.